look at the camera? Okay.
My name is William Orell. I started stacking at age 8. I learned sports stacking in my elementary school PE class. My teacher ran tournaments. She ran a sports stacking club that met every week, and she was just very passionate about the sport. So me and my friends got into it, and I've been doing it ever since. I'm most confident in the cycle because it's my fastest event. I'm still fastest on the web after over 10 years for that event. And then in tournament in the past, I've had a lot of success with that one, consistently hitting 5.2s, 5.1s. So I feel good about it. 363 is my least confident event, just because I'm sometimes a little fumbly on the down stack, but I'm confident that I can do well this weekend. Yeah, I get nervous at competitions, but I just try to just stack, not think too much about it, keep calm, and just think of a time that I'm going to go for it, and whatever happens, I'll be proud of my efforts. I'd say to control my nerves, I try to just focus on my form, my stacking at the practice table, hitting consistent times, whatever times I'm going to go for when I go up. And I also like to just hang out with my friends, have fun in the midst of all the stress. And doing breathing exercises as well helps me calm down.
I'm Xin Yi and I'm 17 years old. I'm from Team Malaysia. I started stacking when I was 11 and I've been stacking for 6 years. And I'm same with Ian as well. I saw this sport on YouTube and it looks quite interesting for me, and I just told my dad that I want to learn stacking, and he just bought a set of cup for me. This is how it started. Yeah. Cycle, I think, because after I started stacking for 5 months and I went to my first competition, which is Malaysia Open 2018, and I got champion for my cycle. But I failed my 333 and 333. Got my first champion. 333, I think I failed my 333 at last year World Championship. I failed quite many times too, so it's not that consistent as well. For now, yes, because I don't really stack every day for now because I have to concentrate on my studies instead of stacking. Yeah, I'm having final exam in the end of this year. Yeah, so I think just take a deep breath before the try. Yeah, it helps me to calm down myself. That's all.
My name is Peter Ford. I started stacking in 2008. It was part of our PE indoor unit. And when we did it that day, I was just instantly hooked to it. The event I'm most confident in is the 363. And it's because it's the event I practice the most. And I've just always been really consistent at 363. The event I'm least confident in is the cycle stack because it's the longest event and there's just more room to make a mistake, and it takes a lot more time to perfect the cycle versus the other two individual events. Yeah, every tournament I always get nervous in an event. Sometimes it's in prelims if my division has more than 10 stackers, or in finals if I know what times I need to beat to win. But the best thing to do to overcome nerves is for me, I tend to isolate myself from everybody else. I practice on my own. I don't tend to communicate with anybody, and I just don't pay attention to how other people are doing either. I just focus on me, and it usually gives me my best results. I just kind of like do this, get rid of the shaky hands, or I take a few deep breaths. And again, all I focus on is the table, the cups, and that's it. That's all I focus on when I'm at the table. Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate that.
My name is Kaitlyn Quinn. I started stacking in June of 2016. So I started watching YouTube videos. It was like on my recommend feed. I saw the Cup song. And then like after that, like, you know, like when you see like, oh, you might like this. So I saw a William Morrell video on YouTube. I thought it was sped up. So, but I thought it was pretty cool. So I asked my parents to buy a set during the summer because that was when I didn't really do any sports. So I wanted to try something new. And ever since they bought a set of cups for me, I loved it. I kept practicing, and, you know, here I am at the Junior Olympics. I think I'm the most confident in cycle because I am like the national record holder. I got a 6.0 in tournament. I have won cycle here twice. So I think it's definitely a confidence booster just to see, like, in the standings are always like, I'm like mostly in the top 10, top 5, and then I'm starting to get higher in the rankings for cycle in the world. Like for cycle, I think I'm like top 25. So it's definitely good just to see my rankings go up and see my improvement every single tournament. I think I'm least confident in 333 because having a 604 in the cycle, I would think I would have a 1.7 in tournament, but I really don't. I have like a 1.800, but close enough. But I also feel like in the competition, having 333 first, like, it's the most nerve-wracking event because it like makes or breaks your overall, and just wanting to do well in the event, like, it's really tough. But once you get through that, I think it's fine. But 333 I've failed a couple times this season, so I've definitely been working on it, but I'm still not really confident in that. I do get nervous. It's obviously like tournament, you want to do well, you want to do the best that you possibly can. So of course I get nervous, but I feel like with the experience I have, being one of the fastest in the world, I know that, you know, I can perform well. I know I have jitters still. I know how to kind of like work through it because I've been like competing a lot, but at the same time, you know, I feel like it's normal to be nervous. You just have to control your nerves when it matters the most. I like shuffle my cups. I try to like feel the cups. And also I feel like it's really important to breathe, you know, realize that like you're in the moment, like you're at, like, especially here, you're at the Junior Olympics, like you have to make every single attempt count. So I always try to breathe. So, and like tell myself it's okay. Like no matter what happens, you're still here. You're one of the fastest here because if you qualify for the Junior Olympics, you're an awesome stacker to begin with. So just telling myself, no matter what happens, if I try my best, I can't do anything about the results. My name's Sarah Quinn. So I started stacking around 2016. Just a similar answer to my sister Kaitlyn. I wasn't that athletic. I wasn't the athletic type. So I saw cup stacking on YouTube. It was actually first the Cup song by Anna Kendrick, and I saw it, and then for some reason cup stacking videos, like the tutorial videos, came up on my YouTube, and that's how we started. And my mom thought it would be a good idea to be like active, like mentally and a little bit physically too. So out of the 3 individual events, I'm definitely most confident in my 3x3. I can't really get nervous doing it because it's so short, and I have problems with like mental, like I get really nervous sometimes, so 3x3 is definitely my most confident. Actually, my 3x3 is my least confident. I'm not really sure. My cycle, I just feel like cycle gives you a lot of time to like make up for your mistakes, but 3x3 is just in the middle, and I always find that the 3 falls, so like when I'm in my practice, so I'm not confident at it at all. My hands tend to be very shaky because I tend to start with a good 3x3, then I'm like, I have to get a good 3x3, but then I overthink again. So yes, I do get nervous. Even though I'm one of the fastest stackers in the world, I still feel like there's some pressure because I haven't really won a big marquee event yet. But I do get nervous. I do get in my head. I feel like it's normal in the sport to get very, very nervous. So I always put pressure on myself because I want what's best for me. So, and I'm my own biggest critic. So that's why I really get nervous. Not really. I do try to like take deep breaths and stuff. I like try to calm down. I try to say like, oh, if I mess up, it's not the biggest thing in the world. The world's not going to end if I mess up. But it's always hard to like control nerves. I have problems with it. My hands are always shaking. So I try my best to control my mindset, but it's really hard. It takes years, and I've been stacking for like almost like 8 years, and I still get nervous. So yeah, it's pretty difficult for me, but I try my best to have fun and stuff.
I am Tyler Hollis. I started stacking Christmas Day of 2007. I was 4 years old. So I got a present for Christmas, and it was cups. And I just learned how to stack by watching the DVD. I just did the same hand motions that they were doing. And a year later, I was already competing, so it really didn't take long at all. I'm most confident in cycle. I'd like to admit I'm not great in the other two at the moment. So cycle for sure. I do it. That's all I practice. That's not recommended though. Practice everything. I'm least confident in 3-3-3 because I can't down stack it at all. But I practice a little bit. I'm trying to get better. But 3-3-3 for sure. Yeah, I get nervous. I like to say that I don't, but I do get nervous quite a bit. And it's been getting progressively worse every competition, and I'm not sure why. But yes, I get nervous. Really the only way that I diminish nerves is like going outside, taking walks, you know, just connecting with nature. That's really the main way that I do that, yeah.
My name is Dalton Nichols. I started stacking in March of 2010 when my PE teacher first brought all of their equipment into schools and did a whole weekly unit on it, and it was one of my favorite things to do, so I just kept going from there. I think for me the event I'm most confident is 3-3-3. I've been working on it a lot, and it's been one of my favorite events to practice. I've been trying to figure out how to stop the timer as best I can. When G5 first came out, it was the biggest challenge for me, so I was working a lot on trying to stop it better, and I think I've got a good technique for it, so I'm confident to see what happens this weekend. I think for me the least confident event is the cycle, just because there's a lot of different movements, a lot of different events, a lot of different ways that could happen with it. Requires you to think a bit more, requires you to do more, a lot more room for failure than the other two events. Yeah, I get nervous pretty often. It's something that depends on the tournament, how many people are there, what the competition's like. But sometimes I could go into a competition with no nerves at all, but there's always a little bit of nerves that are always hanging on the surface. So for me, what I've been trying out in the past year is trying to time my warm-ups, because for me, a struggle when I get nervous or anxious during an event is I don't go the speed that I want to go in competition. So for me, if I can time my warm-ups and get an attempt that's like 0.1 slower than what I would want for a first attempt, then that way I can sort of work my way up, but knowing exactly what I need to do to succeed in a tournament. This good? Good? Okay. I am Seamus Stoker. I started stacking when I was 10 in 2014. I saw a YouTube video of William Orell, and I tried it with the little like plastic cups, like the red solo cups, and then I bought a set, and here I am. Ooh. I'd say personally, I feel most confident in the cycle because it's the one I practice the most, and the one where consistency matters, and I feel like I am a consistent stacker. The 3-3-3, the 3-3-3 one is basically one where there's no consistency involved, or little consistency. It's basically you have to use all your speed, and it's very nerve-wracking when you mess up the first two attempts, and then you only have one try to stack the 9 cups, so it's tough. Yeah, I get very nervous. I'm probably the most nervous person I know when it comes to cup stacking. I know everyone hides their own nerves their own way, but I'm I move a lot around, so it's very tough for me. But I'm very nervous when it comes to stacking. I don't think being the best in the world decreases your nerves at all. I don't think it lowers your nerves. Yeah, I'd say getting rid of my nerves definitely is tougher, but how I like to do it is if I'm at a tournament, I like to envision myself either with my friends or in my room cup stacking. It's something that my dad told me. My dad told me that if you envision yourself in your room, it kind of blocks out all the noise. Like there's no one around you, and you just messing around. Thank you so much.
My name is Trey Griffith. Well, I started in 2011, so I was 8 years old, I found it interesting when my older sister, when Jenna was in talent show, doing it in talent show, and I found it interesting, honestly. So that's what made me get into cup stacking. I feel most confident in the cycle usually. Well, mostly 363, yeah, but usually I get to control my it's hard to control nerves at the table so I've been trying to do practice every day. I do get nervous I do shake quite a lot whenever I get to the table. I mean it's a lot different getting when I'm actually competing. Medicine that I take to help may help control my anxiety. Being on the autism spectrum.
안녕하세요, 인간입니다. 오늘 이제 AAU에 참여하게 되는데 너무 감사드립니다.
My name is Andrew Dale. I started stacking when I was almost 8 years old. It was like late 2011. I'm not sure what month, but it was around that time. So what I did is I was just watching YouTube. I was just on YouTube, and then I stumbled across Emily Fox. She was stacking her 743, and I was really interested about that. And I just picked up some plastic cups, drinking cups, started stacking with them, and got set. And then it's history. I mean, since then I've been stacking. That's a good question. Honestly, 333 now. I mean, if you asked me 2 years ago, it'd be cycle, but I don't know. It's just I feel better with 333 now, especially with the new timer. Honestly, cycle, just because it's the longest. It's just the hardest stack, but I love doing the cycle regardless. I love it. Yeah, I always get nervous, but I just expect to be nervous because I expect to do well, and I love doing this. I kind of like the feeling, but yeah, I always get nervous. Just gotta get through it. I'll do some breathing, but what really gives me confidence at the end of the day is just putting the practice weeks in before, and knowing that I kind of tried putting an effort to do well at this competition, so that helps me get through.
My name is William Allen. I started stacking in May of 2015 after I saw a YouTube video. I went into my kitchen and just used drinking cups to try and stack, but it didn't work because they don't have holes on top. And then I went to my dad and gave him some of my money I had saved, and I ordered a set of Blue Speed stacks on Amazon. And it's history. I've started since then. Or I've been stacking since then. I want to think about that. I'm really, lately, and I've always been confident in 363. I feel like, when you're practicing 363, people don't view it as only 363, but you're also practicing part of your cycle. So it's really key to get your 363 down. So I definitely practice at the most, and so it's the one I feel the most confident in. It's the one I'm highest ranked in and out of tournament in. My least confident is probably 333. Not in terms of me not being consistent, but in terms of improving upon a time. 333 for me is the event I definitely get my first attempt clean in, and then I don't get my second or third attempt in. Whereas 363 in cycle, I feel like I can more reliably improve upon my previous times. That's a great question. I feel like every single stacker who cares about stacking gets nervous, at least a little bit. It's just all about how you handle those nerves. I feel like being nervous and being able to control those nerves is definitely an advantage. And it's all about having confidence in yourself, because you only have 3 attempts to knock it out. So if you don't have the confidence to go up to the table and really take advantage of those times, then you're never going to see the improvement that you want. So my motto has always been stack like it's going to be your last attempt ever. Never not take advantage of being at competitions and being able to improve your rankings in tournament. No, I feel like I've tried to channel my nerves and find a way to deal with them. But the best advice I can give to anyone who's starting stacking and dealing with nerves is that they're not just going to go away. They're always going to be there. If you truly care about stacking, you're always going to be nervous when you have so few attempts. Except as you stack more, as you stack more and more and go to more competitions, you'll learn how you can handle yourself at the table. It's not going to come instantly. You will get nervous. It's just all about how you handle it. And handling nerves just comes with time. It comes with experience. You will find your own way. It just happens. I've never had like a way or a ritual at the table, that like a breathing exercise. I've never had any of that at the table. It just has developed like how I go tournament to tournament over the past 9 years I've competed. No, so my hair, I developed a really bad habit a few years ago of just wearing a hat every day, and eventually I started wearing it to tournaments, and especially when my hair is longer, I shaved my head 2 months ago, so it was really short. But up until then, it was just a really easy way to block out anything past the table, like other people or cameras, and keep hair out of my eyes when I'm competing, especially when my hair is longer. Like right now, I'm not wearing a hat, and I won't need to because my hair isn't too long. But to answer the actual question, no, it's not one of my rituals. I just wear a hat most days.
Hi, my name is Ian. I'm from Malaysia.
Okay.
I started stacking in 2012. That was 12 years ago. I just
Oh.
found it off YouTube and I thought it was interesting, so I started to stack after that. Yeah.
Wait, can you
No,
tell?
what?
You were lagging. You were
Oh,
lagging.
lagging?
Yeah.
Oh, wait,
Wait,
hold
one
on,
more
hold on.
time.
Do I
Okay,
have one
sorry,
more?
sorry.
Do I go?
Oh,
Wait. Let's try again. I started stacking back in 2012, which was 12 years ago. I was only 7 years old, and I found it off YouTube, just randomly scrolling through YouTube, and I saw stacking, and I was so interested, so I just told my mom to buy me a set, and I started stacking. Ooh, which event am I most confident in? I think I'm confident in all events, to be honest. But
But if you had to choose
but
one,
if I had to choose one, if I had to choose one, I think it'd be 363 because I failed 333 and cycled a lot this year, I guess. Or maybe it's not as good as my 363, so I'd say 363. Or least confident cycle because
I,
it's so long and like depending on the day, depending on how you feel like, maybe you're just not doing good and sometimes it just doesn't go your way. I failed cycle quite many times as well, so yeah. Now definitely not. But if we're talking about maybe 5, 6 years ago when I was still very new to stacking, then yeah, I still get nervous because I don't think nervous is something you can get rid of. Like it's just there, and even now I think I'm a little bit nervous, not as much as before, but I'm still trying to control it. Yeah. Right now, yeah, I still get nervous, but it was not as much as let's say maybe 5, 6 years ago when I was still new to sports stacking. But definitely I do feel nervous. I think nervousness is not something you can get rid of easily, or like it doesn't really go away even if you try to force it. Naturally, I think it doesn't go away as well because competition is something like if you really value competition, then you're probably nervous when you are competing as well. So yeah, of course I do get nervous. Oh yeah, definitely. So, speaking from my past experience, back in America, this year, the World Championships, 2024, I was pretty nervous after my prelims because, I almost failed my 363. I got ninth place, thank God. But in the end, in finals, I didn't get overall because I failed my cycle, and a lot of that was, I like to blame my cups, but I think I was just nervous as well. Yeah. One way I help recover from that in the past tournaments is if I was nervous or like usually when stackers are nervous, their hands are shaking, like they're trembling really much. A way I feel like you can overcome that nervousness, it's a small tip, I guess. you take a towel or something, a cloth or paper or something like that, and you just scream into that towel. So like when you scream, yeah. So when you, yeah, I think it's probably no one has ever said this before in the interview, but if you scream out, when you scream out when you're nervous, your body just feels lighter. Like I this is a tip for everyone to try. For everyone who's watching, if you are very nervous and your hands are shaking and your chest feels like it's so heavy, just scream into a towel, and trust me, you'll feel lighter. Maybe your hands will still be a little shaky, but definitely your whole body will feel very light and you'll feel easier to breathe. So that's one tip, I guess. Other than that, I feel like there's no other way to overcome nervousness. You just gotta deal with it, I guess. So yeah.
저는 김시은입니다. 저는 2014년 6월에 초등학교 바자회에서 미니컵을 샀고 집에서 유튜브 보면서 따라하고 재밌어서 계속 하다 보니 여기까지 오게 됐습니다. 대회에서 꾸준히 제가 원하는 기록을 낼 수 있는 종목이 사이클이고 또 연습량도 제일 많아서 사이클이 제일 자신 있습니다. 333이 가장 실수도 많이 나오고 대회마다 기록이 많이 달라지고 결선에 못 올라간 적도 몇 번 있어서 333이 가장 자신이 없는 것 같아요. 네, 국내 대회는 국제대회에 비해서는 많이 안 떨리긴 하지만 그래도 여전히 어느 정도의 긴장감은 항상 가지고 있는 것 같아요. 저는 대회는 긴장이 될 수밖에 없다고 생각해요. 그래서 오히려 긴장을 극복하려고 뭔가를 한다기보다는 그냥 받아들이고 평상시에 연습할 때 긴장 상태에서도 안정적인 기록을 낼 수 있도록 많이 연습을 해두면 그 연습에서 오는 자신감이 대회에서 많이 도움이 된다고 생각합니다.
William Pauly. So I started stacking in November 2009. And I got into it because there was a TV commercial for McDonald's that was airing at the time on Nickelodeon. And they used to sell speed stacks and targets. So I got a set for Christmas that year. And I learned how to stack based off the DVD that came with the speed stacks. And I just fell in love with it really quickly and been stacking since pretty much. So I'm most confident in cycle personally. If I had to pick an event that I'm most confident in, when I'm stacking, I practice that one the most. I'm moving around the most. There's more to focus in on and dial in on, more areas to work on within the cycle. This season I haven't done too great in it. Just happens when you have 3 attempts. It's likely that you won't do as well as you anticipate, but you always set new goals. And I feel like that's an event that has a lot of leeway. If you fumble in cycle, you can still finish strong. And there's just a lot you can build off of in terms of self-improvement with the cycle. So I would say I'm least confident in doubles. You're one half of the equation. You can't factor in if you feel like you're about to fumble, that other person doesn't know that. So if you mess up, there's a 50-50 chance that they'll pick up your slack if you can't fix it yourself. It's an event that really is about a lot of luck and really just takes a lot of practice, but you can get up there twice the amount of nerves because it's 2 of you. So that one's definitely an event that I'm a little least confident in, but still try my best. I definitely do get nervous on deck. I have a lot of experience with stacking, but the person that's next to you is just nervous in the same exact way as you are. You're about to do the same exact thing, which is walk on deck and do your finals. For myself, sometimes I'm able to contain my nerves. Sometimes they get to the best of me, but it's all about being confident in yourself, knowing your own potential and what you're able to accomplish for yourself, and to not think about who's next to you, what's around you, how other people are doing in comparison to you. It's really just about your own personal self-esteem, how confident you are in yourself, not only just in your stacking, but you as a person. Definitely still get nervous, and sometimes it's hard to work through it, but just comes with the situation you're in, the setting you're in. Just got to take into all the things into consideration. Just focus on yourself, what you can do, and focus on only that. So when I'm competing, I really try to get within my own avatar state. That's how I like to think about it. When I'm at a table, I just think about white noise. No one's in front of me, no one's on the sides of me. There's no noise happening. It's all about
basically meditating when you're stacking. You know, you have to become one with yourself, because if you're not all there together mentally and you're not focused and you're not in your own avatar state, you're thinking about the judge in front of you, or you're thinking about the stacker who's about to get a world record 2 tables down with that crowd, and any moment there could just be an eruption of cheering and it can be in the middle of your run. If you're not within that mental state, you're thinking about those externals and you only have 3 tries. You're at a competition table for sometimes less than 60 seconds. And a lot can dictate your day in 60 seconds. So just learn how to get into an avatar state, kind of practice meditation, and just learning how to cope within yourself and not think about what's next to you, behind you, in front of you, whatever it be. Just focus on yourself. You are your own person. You control your actions and your thoughts. So stay in control. That's my best advice. I was really hoping to say what I wanted to say correctly, and I feel like I did a good job. So awesome. Thank you so much.